Hi, I'm Cheryl Douglas with Life Cameras Action.
And I'm Steve Green with The Steve Green Show. And love is in the air.
Yes, it is. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day, Cheryl.
Hey.
You know, they say that Valentine's Day is the biggest money-making holiday of the year.
A lot of gifts and cards are bought.
A whole lot.
Yes, it is.
And I understand that you did a survey on Facebook about Valentine's Day.
Yes, we posed the question, what is the point of Valentine's Day?
What is the point of Valentine's Day, huh? Now, so what kind of response did you get from the women?
Of course, we love Valentine's Day.
I guess so, because you get all the gifts.
Yes, we do.
Right. Now, what about men?
A little wishy-washy on it, but they're under a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, but it's a good holiday.
Yes, it is.
And it's a holiday of love.
Yes, it is.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you.
Happy Valentine's Day. We're here with my good friend Denise King. Hi, Denise.
Hey, Steve Green, elevation, baby.
Elevation.
Yes.
I'm so glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you too. You have no idea how glad I am.
Back in the States for a minute, huh?
For a minute, I leave next week. Yeah, the 16th of January, I'm out.
So how you like living in Paris, Denise?
Living in Paris is incredible. I mean, it calls to mind all of the greats who laid the bricks for me. Josephine Baker, James Baldwin, on and on and on. It's amazing, especially for African Americans. The appreciation is so great. They love what we do. They love the music, the art, the things, the style, our history. They love it. They love it and appreciate it. So
Well, you're like a butterfly flying over there.
I am like a butterfly flying over there. It's home now. It's home.
And I know they love you because you just kill it so hard.
It's the first concert I did, it was so quiet that it was unnerving. I was like, maybe they don't like what I'm doing. But it was just like they really appreciated what I was doing, and it was unbelievable. They really appreciate what I do, and it makes me feel great. So,
Well, I'm so happy for you that God is smiling on you.
God is good. God is good, and He's so real. What I learned in the last 6 months is that He does have a plan for our lives. He has a plan for each and every one of us. He orders every single one of my steps all the time, not just some of the time, but all the time. When I don't know what to do, I get still and I wait to hear what He has to say. I wait. So He's amazing. He's awesome.
Awesome and amazing.
Awesome and amazing. He's my everything.
Well, I'm so glad that we've got a chance to see you here.
I know. It's just good to be back. It's good to be back in Philadelphia, home, and to see everybody. I had a little patch there for a minute, and one of the things that I thought about is, wow, what would happen if I don't see my family and my friends again? And it just reminds you how important it is, your family and your friends, to tell them how you love them, what you feel. Tell them you love them. Show them you love them. Let them know how important they are in your life. And I'm so happy to be here and see everybody. Even though I'm leaving next week, I'm still like, this was like a shot in the arm.
Before you go, I'm going to tell you I love you, Denise.
I love you back. Elevation.
Denise King, y'all. it sure was good seeing Denise King. Denise, we wish you well on your trip back to Paris. God bless you. You know, I think I'm going to give Doc Gibbs a call and see what he's up to.
Hello, you've reached Drumming Up Business Productions and Doc Gibbs. We're very sorry, Doctor is with a patient, but you can leave your name and number after the beep tone, and Doc Gibbs will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you so much for calling, and have a wonderful day. Bye now.
Doc Gibbs.
Yo.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm wonderful. How about you?
Excellent, man. So good to see you.
Good to be seen and not viewed.
Not viewed.
That's right.
Man, thank you so much for inviting us into your home.
My
Spend
pleasure.
Saturday afternoon with you, brother.
In Fishtown.
In Fishtown.
You dig.
You did. Man, you have given so much to this music, man. You are an icon in the percussion world, known throughout the world for all of the wonderful people that you've played with, and
Yeah.
for the folks that you've taught, man, and your instruments, man. You have all the different sounds. You got sounds that folks out don't even know
That's
about.
right. And I'm going to show you a few of them, too.
Oh, man. Now, see, that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
So, Doc, tell us, how did you get started in the percussion?
Well, actually, I think it started when my mother was carrying me in the womb. And she said that she was always focused on the jazz drummer. Mm-hmm. And when she was carrying me, she would go to jazz concerts and whatnot, and just always gravitated to listening to the drummer. So I think when I was born, it was already in me.
It was there already.
It was there already. So it just evolved from there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in terms of playing professionally, how did you get into the conga?
Well, you know, actually, I thought that I wanted to be a set drummer, playing the whole set of drums. Mm-hmm. But when I was in junior high school and high school in the band and orchestra, they always had guys playing in older grades than me. And so obviously I couldn't play because they were already playing.
Right.
So I would always get stuck on the odd instrument. And the first one that I got stuck on was the triangle. So when the music teacher said, well, we need you to play the triangle, I was like, oh man, my folks are gonna come and hear me play the triangle? And she said, no, but listen, number one, you gotta know how to hold the triangle when you strike it so that it doesn't spin. And you're only gonna stand up and play in one particular part of this song. So I was like, okay, that makes sense, because I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna hit the triangle a couple of times, and I had to know where my part was
right.
and what to play. So that really was the beginning of my introduction to percussion, and realizing that not playing the set drums, but playing everything with my hands.
That's why you play such a killer triangle now.
Yeah. You're right.
That's
exactly.
right, man. The
exactly.
parts.
That's right. Exactly. The parts are important.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's great, man. So, you know, I know that you've played with many, many people, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just to talk about some of the folks that you've had the pleasure of playing.
Well, first one that gave me my big break was the late Grover Washington Jr.
Right.
And he was the one that gave me the name Doc. So
how did you come up with that name?
well, we were recording live at the Bijou, and the first night Grover was real sick. He had a real bad cold, and you know, he didn't feel well. He could only get up and play the heads of the songs, and he didn't even solo. So I'm into herbal teas and natural healing, so I mixed up a concoction of different herbal teas, and I gave it to him. I said, man, drink this tea every 4 hours. And it's not going to taste good. Don't try to sweeten it with honey, because it will not sweeten.
Right, right.
And so he did that. And the next night, he said, man, I feel 100% better. So that's when we started recording. And so when he introduced me that night, he said, there's two doctors in Philly. There's Dr. J, the basketball player, and Dr. Gibbs, the percussionist.
You did.
So that was it.
That was it.
Dr. Gibbs.
And it
you know,
stuck.
And it stuck, you know.
That's great, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Grover was something else, man.
Grover was an incredible cat. You know, playing with him was like going to like college, because he taught us how to perform, how to act, how you carry yourself on the road, how you make a set.
Right.
Because the set is important, because if it doesn't go and continually grow, then you lose the people.
Right.
And so he was always, made us aware of those things, and it was just great experience, Plus the music was just incredible.
Incredible, yeah.
Just think, back then, which wasn't that far, well, to me it wasn't, we're talking 75, 76, we were doing concerts with no vocals. There was nobody singing. People were coming to enjoy just two bands playing music,
Right.
So,
You don't get that too much anymore.
No, the record company wants you to sing, and sound like somebody else.
Yeah, well, the audience, they feel that the audience doesn't want to work, and just like the musicians were, I feel that's a responsibility of the audience to work as well, to be able to appreciate what the musicians are doing.
Right.
It's a two-way street.
It is.
We work hard so that they will appreciate what we do.
And they gotta show it, give it back.
Right.
And when they give it back, then we play more. So
play
now we
more.
got give and take.
We got a circle of love right there, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good
that's
stuff.
right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then you were you went out with Spiral Gyra.
Went out with Spiral for a hot minute. I went to Japan with them. I worked with Bob James and recorded a lot of records with him.
Right.
Anita Baker, Erykah Badu, Noel Pointer.
Yeah.
There's a few other, Ron Carter, Earl Klugh.
Yeah.
There's a few other ones I can't remember.
Breakwater.
Breakwater, right? Say You Love Me, Girl.
Say You Love Me, Girl. Hitting them tamales, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
You did a great job there, man. Bought that track alive for us.
It was fun stuff,
Yeah.
man. Did that in New York.
Yeah.
Sigma. I
Sigma
think.
Sound, that's right. Yeah.
You got good memories, man.
I got one cell left. I'm holding on.
No stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing though, brother, because you've done so much. We can't forget your TV stint with the Emerald Live.
Right.
With your band. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, that was number one. It was an incredible experience. I didn't have any idea or clue that that's where I was headed with that adventure.
Right.
A good friend of mine was the executive producer, and she was the one that came up with the idea of having musicians on the show originally. So, she tried a couple of different guys, and they didn't have any vibe. So she said, well, Doc, why don't you come up and we'll see what you can do.
Right.
So I went up with a piano player, and I have these different sounds. So when he would be whipping up some potatoes, and there might have been a lull in his performance, then I would make a sound.
Right.
And he would say, "Oh yeah, there's Doc over there giving me the whipping up the potato sound," And so we started to create a little thing,
Right.
And I would go up and tape 3 shows, and they'd call me back a couple months later and say, well, we want to try you again,
Right.
So that went on for about 6 months. And then after that, my friend left the show, and another executive producer came on, and she said, well, I want all the musicians that have been on the show from the beginning to play together on a show. So we put some music together and we played. But by then, he was calling me by name.
Right.
He wasn't calling nobody else. It was always, hey, Doc, what do you
Right.
think about it? Hey, Doc, is that Doc over there? So it's like,
Right.
it was obvious I was the guy
You were the cat.
that was destined for that
Right.
position. So, man, that ran for 10 years. And it was an exciting adventure. Plus, the food was good.
You quite a cook yourself, man.
I know how to cook a little bit, and I got a few pointers from him, but, man, woo!
Yeah, that was a whole nother level
Man,
there,
that
right?
yes, it was. Yes,
Yeah,
it
well,
was.
you did so much for that show, man.
Man, it was incredible because we had the opportunity to create music of our own and play behind other people. So we had to learn their music too. So,
Right.
I mean, we've had like Chick Corea and Gerald Albright and Charlie Musselwhite and Charlie Daniels. Man, we've had a bunch of people on the show
Right.
that we've played their music, So
yeah.
that was a great experience.
Oh, I know that was a gas, man.
What a great time,
So, Doc, What about some of these other toys you have around here, brother?
Oh, you want to know about some of my
What you
other
got?
things?
What you got?
I got to start with the triangle.
That's what you started with.
And normally I would have a string attached to this one, but
Right.
I'm just going to use my hand to mute the sound. So the
Okay.
triangle. That's my triangle.
A beautiful tone.
Yeah. And then a buddy of mine made these little egg shakers and put them all together.
Look at that.
So they're kind of nice, you know, just to, I call this like the glue. When I play on a tune, I like to use the shaker to kind of like just pull everything together. So this is my shaker. That's some Doc Gibbs stuff there. We can't do no cursing, can we?
No, we can't.
Just checking.
Just checking.
Because I almost said something else. Now these, there's a little story with these. You know what these are?
No.
Okay. Remember a long time ago, offices had like 20 phone lines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could put one on hold and pull up another one.
Right.
Well, all those wires that ran from the phone line connected
Okay.
and went somewhere else.
Right.
Well, I got these out of a building that was getting ready to tear down, and all these phone lines, and I got this from Ralph McDonald because Ralph came up with the idea.
Wow.
So I call them my teleclicks. This is how they sound. Teleclicks.
Recycle.
Recycle
You dig it?
teleclicks.
They sound great, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice sound.
And then I have, these are just for creating just a mood. And they're just little pods.
What seeds inside?
Some kind of, so these are just some kind of pods, but all of them together
All together. Okay.
gives you that sound. And these are pods. There's nothing inside these either.
Oh, they're just in against each other.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That's a nice sound.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Doc.
my toys.
He did.
Now, this is the Guica, and I think we were talking about, I used this on one of Breakwater's songs.
Yeah, yeah.
And this comes from Brazil by way of Angola in Central Africa. I use a wet cloth,
Right.
and there's a reed inside,
Okay.
and the reed is attached to the skin. So when I press my fingers against the skin close to the tip, it's going to raise the pitch, and when I take my hand off a little bit, it lowers the pitch, and I'm going to create the sound with the wet cloth. So this is the Guica.
The Guica.
The Guica speaks.
Oh, Doc. So, now, Doc, what is this thing here?
Okay, this is an instrument that comes from Switzerland. I tell people it's the George Foreman grill. Get a big kick out of that. But actually, it's called the hang drum that comes from Switzerland. And hang means hand in the Swiss language.
Oh, okay.
So they call this the hang drum. So it's a metal drum. The person that invented this got the idea from the steel drum from Trinidad. The steel drum you play with mallets, and the steel drum is concave. And this is convex, and I play it with my hands.
Oh, okay.
And it's made out of metal. So I'm going to give you a little taste of the hang
drum. like that, man.
Nice, ain't it?
Hang drum,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah. It's the pure tone.
Yeah, this is tuned to the pentatonic scale.
All right.
But he'll make it any scale that you want it. And the only thing is, it's rather expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's totally handmade, right?
Totally handmade. And the sound comes from the bottom.
Okay.
And the last time I heard, they're going for like 3,000 or 4,000. I didn't pay that much for it.
Hold on to that puppy.
Listen, when I go out with that,
Right.
when I go out with this, it never leaves my
I
side.
know that's right.
Because somebody told me people had started buying them and then reselling them on eBay. And the last price that I heard somebody paid on eBay was $8,000.
Wow.
So you know, when I take this out,
Right.
it goes with me. When I go to a restaurant, it's with me.
I heard
I
that.
never leave it. So I got one more instrument to show you, and that's this box that I'm sitting on. This is called a cajon, and cajon means box in the Spanish language.
Okay.
And so, quick story about the cajon. The enslaved Africans came up with the idea of using the box because they were not allowed to use the drum. And so the stevedores, or the enslaved Africans that worked on the docks, stocking and unloading these boxes all day, when they had a chance for a little break, they didn't have any drums, but they had these boxes, so they started playing the box. So this is what the box or cajon sounds like.
Okay. Ha, cajon.
Cajon.
Wow, that is nice,
Isn't
man.
it? And so sometimes I do gigs with maybe guitar, bass, and cajon.
Wow.
And a little bit of percussion. I don't even take a conga.
Yeah, that has so much expression in that box,
yeah,
man.
because
So,
you can get the. So you got the bass drum,
Right.
snare drum, you know.
now, where's the cajon made at? Is that?
Actually, this one was made by a guy called Pop Percussion in Germany. But the cajon comes from Cuba. You can find them in Cuba, Peru, Argentina, Spain. These are countries where the cajon really developed,
Right.
you know. And now here.
So how do you get? I mean, how is it made different that you get different tones? Is it something inside or just?
Well, number one, you can hear the rattle. So it's got little snares inside
Oh, okay.
to make it rattle a little
Right.
bit. And then I'm altering the sound when I press my foot against the front of it. So
Wow. Killer, man.
cajon.
Cajon, that's nice, man. That's nice, man. You're doing a lot in the school system here now, teaching,
Yeah, I do
aren't
a
you?
lot of educational stuff. I work with an organization called Musicopia. It used to be Strings for Schools. And we go into schools and we either do assembly programs, residencies, or workshops. And I do them in schools, libraries, charter schools, private schools, you know.
Right.
Because, you know, music is important. And just like the arts in general are important because they help you to find yourself. And if the children aren't given that opportunity, then we're really doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
You know. And so it's important to be able to let children see what it's like when real musicians get together and play together and not in the basement, you know, making up stuff, but we're all playing together. And how we bring a certain camaraderie and a certain reverence to the music, you know. So I like to be able to bring this stuff to the kids as much as possible. And, you know, in Philadelphia, and like most schools around the country, they've taken the arts out of the schools.
That's a shame.
It's terrible.
And the music and the arts, it connects the dots, man.
Connects the dots.
Yeah.
It helps you with all the other subjects that you have in
That's
school.
right.
You know, so
And that's so important, man. But unfortunately, to the bureaucrats, it doesn't
Yeah,
seem like
yeah,
it's important.
yeah.
But it's extreme. Can you imagine where we would be without
Right,
that, man?
right. If we hadn't discovered music,
Right.
you know, I really have no idea where I would be.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in art. So, you know, even that is, you know, that's like being a musician.
Yeah.
You know, when I was coming along, I had art and music. I said, man, which one am I going to do? But the music and the drum won out.
Right.
But I mean, art is a rough profession also.
Yeah.
'Cause people don't buy your work, you ain't going to eat.
You ain't gonna eat. Can't eat no canvas.
No, no. So, you know, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to be exposed to the arts like we are.
Absolutely,
you know,
man.
and to be able to bring that to people. You
Yeah,
know,
people, the world needs it,
needs it, like they say.
and we need to do it.
Yeah.
So that's how it works, right?
Music is the healing force.
Yes, it is.
You know, and they say the music is the music and the musicians are the ones who are in between heaven and earth.
Yes.
And we take the music that God gives us and present it to the people.
Present it to the people.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, thank you so much,
Man,
Doc.
it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming down to Fishtown
You fish down.
and hanging out with
down
me
here.
in the House of Drums.
Oh man, we love it. Thank you so much. God bless you, brother.
Same to you,
And Happy
my
New
brother.
Year, man.
Same to you. All right,
All
Happy
right.
New Year to you too.
Doc Gibbs,
And to you
everybody.
folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending this time with us. And ladies, I'd like to wish you happy Valentine's Day. This rose is for you. Love is a wonderful thing when you find someone and all the joy that love brings. You should hold them close and let them in your world, just like the birds and bees. Then so are boys and girls. That's love. Good night.